old, broke. Well, that's not good. Seriously though, this is where millions and millions of people are headed if something doesn't change now. And that's why we created the private reserve account, a simple way for mainstream Americans to secure their retirement, protect their loved ones, and fund their dreams along the way. Here's how it works. Imagine creating your own banking alternative. And not just some ordinary bank, but the ultimate bank. Think about that for a minute. If it's your bank, what benefits would you give yourself? It would be a bank where your savings account actually grows by being linked to stock market gains so you can benefit from those big rallies. And as your money grows, the gains are locked in, so no more of those scary drops. That's a win-win. You'd be able to access the growing value of your account anytime you want for any reason you have. No taxes, no qualifications, no questions asked. After all, it's your money. Oh, did we mention no taxes? And since it is your bank, you'd be earning the interest on the money you borrow from yourself while you pay yourself back. What? Let's keep going. You would have no early withdrawal penalties, unlimited contributions, and a college planning fund with no restrictions. When properly structured, your bank could pay off your mortgage in half the time, could provide living benefits for critical and terminal illness. And if something ever happened to you, your ultimate bank would be transferable to your heirs tax-free. Seems impossible, right? Nope. You just didn't know that the wealthy have been doing this for years. Now you're wondering, so why doesn't everyone open a private reserve account? Exactly. The real question is, why don't you? Contact your financial representative today to set up your private reserve account and help put a stop to America's retirement crisis. We're with you all the way.
You are now tuned in to Hits 92.3, where we take great pride in personal expression of one's feelings, thoughts, or ideas. What you're getting ready to hear on this show are the opinions of the hosts and their guests, and they do not reflect the opinions of Hits 92.3 radio station, the brand, management, staff, their respective advertisers, parent companies, or affiliates. Now stay tuned as this show begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Legacy Crypto Builders. I'm your host, Diana Townsend, right here on Hits Radio 92.3. I'm here each and every Wednesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to dive into the transformative world of blockchains with a purpose. Join us as we explore how today's tech pioneers are building the legacy of tomorrow, one block at a time. Stay tuned. The future of blockchain starts now. All right, I want to thank you guys for joining us here each and every Wednesday on Hits 92.3. We're talking all things blockchain, cryptocurrency. My name is Diana Townsend, and I am the Chief Visionary Officer here at Legacy Crypto Builders. And I have a special guest in the studio with me today, Mr. Cliff O'Neill. Let me welcome you to the show first, Cliff.
Thank you. Thank you. I definitely appreciate you welcoming me here again and being here again, speaking on all things crypto and world topics.
Exactly. I want to jump right into it. As soon as we got in here, I said to Cliff, I was like, I want to talk about the port. He said, that's what we need to talk about.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, so on October the 1st, we were reading up to there's a possibility that the port could go on strike. And if I have to be transparent, I had no idea how much the port affects everything. It was gasoline, it was food, commodities, everything. And then I was dropping in my page to the team little things I was reading on TikTok.
Mm.
And there was this gentleman, I think he is the head of the union, and he was saying that the port wants to bring in automation
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want that. They said, no, for over 200 years, this has been jobs for people, and we're going to strike and we're going to let companies and this world see how much we affect this port. And I just felt like I was listening to him, and I was like, I never put the port in my brain as far as automation. And
Mm-hmm.
that is exactly, that was his biggest argument. He was like, automation is not coming to the port. We need these jobs. We do this, we did that, and the other. And when he started saying it could affect gasoline,
Mm-hmm.
it'll hold up food. And then all of a sudden, you know how artificial intelligence is. When you're looking at something or you're speaking about it, it'll start coming back to back to back. And I was watching all of these tracking trailers backed up at the port with no workers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. First off, transportation is the number one way we get everything in this country. It's all about transportation. The United States is an import export out country, meaning that most of the time, most of the things we get in the United States, most of the products that we use are all exported from somewhere else and imported into the United States. So, how could this actually potentially affect us? They're talking about 45,000 people are right now going on strike.
They on strike, aren't
On
they?
strike right now.
Yes, on strike.
But here's the thing, that's just a startup. They're saying another 100,000 could actually join in with that strike.
Where's the 100,000 coming from?
Other ports. Yeah. So it's basically just affecting the ports on the East Coast right now. Imagine the ports on the West Coast.
Mm, mm.
Imagine the ports that's coming in from Mexico. So this could be something that can be extremely detrimental. That's going to be extremely detrimental because they're saying right now, with the 45,000 that are on strike, it's costing the United States $5 billion a day.
5 billion
$5 billion a day.
on top of the where we at 37 trillion.
38.6 trillion. It was 37 trillion the last time we were.
My bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you got to look at the way things are ran in this country. Everything, and I do mean every single product that we use on a day-to-day basis, whether it's Lysol, whether it's t-shirts, milk, oil, gasoline, cars, every product is transported in some form or fashion. It's a domino effect because the ports are being affected. Guess what else is coming? The trucking industry. Nobody thought about that. Remember, everything in this country has to move in some form of fashion with transportation. Trucks, big time 18 wheelers, and the port go hand in hand. They have to get the products from that port in those containers and bring them to the different distributing companies that actually push it out in smaller trucks. If they're not getting the product off of those ships, the trucking industry stops.
That's insane.
Think about that. That's going to affect the trucking industry's jobs.
That's insane because they were also talking about just say you have an automobile repair, you can't even get the parts to your car because every single thing is shipped here. So that's going to stop people from being able to get to work, get around, do this, that, and the other because the parts aren't going to be available because they're being shipped here. I don't even think a friend of mine started telling me this. They work at the port in Philadelphia. And he started telling me this like maybe a month before. And I was like, y'all not gonna go on strike. I couldn't imagine that because in the beginning, all they was talking about was fruits and vegetables. That's all they said. Food from the store. You might not be able to get this. You might not be able to get that. But I didn't understand that gas was going to be affected. I didn't think about car parts being affected. I didn't think about the everyday commodities coming in, and that's going to affect the supply and demand type of situation. Because I remember when COVID came, remember we went through a little period of time where you couldn't get toilet paper.
Mhm.
Um,
Alcohol.
yeah, that was
Mhm.
crazy. So I feel like I pray that we don't end up back in that same situation. But
Oh, it's coming.
oh my goodness.
Let's keep it 100. It's coming. Let's keep it 1,000. It is absolutely coming. If they continue this strike on, the longer they continue to strike, the less products we're going to have on shelves.
And the union said, "Don't you think this strike is a day or two? Because we're not playing. We're
They're not
not
playing.
allowing automation to come in." But let's talk about the world that we live in today.
Mhm.
Automation affects everything. Like everybody's using automation. So if the port is saying, and I'm not saying I'm in agreement with it, but from a business standpoint, we want to automate.
Mhm.
How can you say we're not going to allow you to as the workers?
It's coming. The thing is, people don't understand that AI has already been here forever. It's been here for at least the last 20 years. Automation is coming because it's the next transformation, what we talk about all the time, that next transformation in the wealth system. Everything is going completely digital. Everything is being tokenized. Everything is going to an automated system. They no longer need human bodies. So by them going on strike, it's doing two things. It's putting a strain on the economy of the United States even worse, but it's also going to cause an effect that's going to further push that next transformation of wealth.
Where's my phone? I'm still stuck on the 5 billion. Hold on. Let me see. Because that's going to push us just further into debt.
Further into debt.
What is
And,
five?
and it's going to push us closer to mass adoption of the new transformation of the financial systems.
That's
It's
insane.
all a part of the plan. So they're helping the system by going on strike. We understand why they're going on strike, but they're helping the financial systems convert over to that new wealth system where everything will be tokenized, where everything will be automated with that strike. But what does this mean for the average person? It means you need to get your stuff together.
Listen, I said that. And I'm not even one. I think I was not. I was in denial. I didn't realize honestly how big this situation was.
Mhm.
But when I started, I'm a TikToker. When I started going on TikTok, and somehow or another, I found the gentleman who's the head of the union, and I was listening to him, and I was like, he's in denial. Like everything is going to be automated. Like he's still talking about you're not taking these jobs away from us and we're going to show you. And I was thinking, like, listen to how you're speaking. You're speaking from a centralized standpoint where you're not understanding that from a business standpoint, if they're talking about automation, that means they don't have to worry about benefits. They don't have to worry about this strike that's happening.
Mhm.
That could just piss them off even more to make sure that they go into automation because they can see how this affected when the workers and I'm not saying that they don't have a right. That is not what I'm saying at all. I get it because a lot of companies I remember UPS was going to go on strike.
Mhm.
You know, I remember the post office was going to strike because they want employees to make sure they have their due diligence. And I am 100. I was a union worker for almost 20 years. I 100% believe in the union. I 100% believe in making sure that the workers have what should be coming to them. But at the same time, the world that we're living in right now and today, you have got to accept automation as well. There's no way around it. And they might just be pushing, those dock workers might be pushing themselves out the door quicker or for sure because they have to make sure that this never happens again. Because how long is this gonna go on for? Because he was like, this ain't gonna be something that's 2 to 3 weeks. I was like, well, what does that mean? Because all I seen was all of these trucks at the port, and there was no workers to receive that what was coming in off the truck. You could see the ships were sitting,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh my god, we might hear it, but when I seen it, all the trucks were like bumping horns and going crazy because there was nobody to bring them in. There were no workers.
But you got to look at the wider picture, the bigger scale. The U.S. ports being shut down is not only affecting the United States economy; it's affecting the world's economy because now those countries who depend on the dollar bill to offset their own debt are starting to be deprived because they can't sell the products over here because the products are sitting in the middle of the water. So you have to look at how it's going to affect the entire world's economy because, quote unquote, even though we're $38.6 trillion in debt. The United States dollar is still the most dominant dollar in the world. So this has the potential to be a catastrophic event to our economy, even worse than what we are already dealing with. People don't understand that right now we're already in hyperinflation. Right now we're already in a recession, full throttle recession. So this is just going to propel that recession into a depression.
I couldn't imagine. We're in a cryptocurrency blockchain space. Like we have plan A, B, C, D up to Z. We have, and we're about to go into a season of abundance. So we have a backup plan. We have something into place. But with everything that's happening right now, on my way in here, I was speaking to a young lady on my team that lives in South Carolina. And I was saying to her, hey, I read that it washed away a whole city from the Hurricane Helene.
Mhm.
Is that true? She said yes. And she was saying her family's staying with her because they still don't have power yet.
Mm.
Like mudslides came in and just wiped out everything. And I was just sitting there, another young lady on my team, she works for State Farm, and she was saying, um, flood, and they don't have flood insurance. Like you had to have a separate, she was saying her insurance company doesn't cover that. And I said, what are these people going to do? And she said, FEMA have to come in and maybe potentially to help them out. And I was like, and what if they didn't have flood insurance? Like we were already in a bad situation financially with this economy. What happens now that everything got washed away? And a lot of people didn't see the value of crypto. Everybody might not have been financially in a situation to plan for. Nobody seen this coming. We see it on TV, we see other things happening, but not so close to us. And we got all of these things happening at one time because my family's like, hey, come back home. Because what about the plant blowing up in Conyers?
Here's the thing, and I hope everybody really receives this well. I'm about to say some stuff.
At least you prepped them. At least you prepped them.
There are two different types of people in this world, and 98.9% of the people are the first way I'm getting ready to talk to them to respond. 98.9% of people on this planet are what we consider NPCs, non-player characters.
Wait, say that again. What is it called?
NPCs,
NPC.
non-player characters, meaning they go with the flow. Oh, meaning they go with the flow. They move with what society tells them to move. They move in the version of themselves that society tells them to move and to be and to grow and to die eventually. The other 1.1% are what we consider active players. Let me tell you what's going on. I'm saying this for a reason. This is what's going on with the whole flood, especially what's happening right now in Asheville, where people are literally, completely separated from everything else in society by those floods. Most people don't know that Asheville sits on one of the largest lithium deposits in the United States. And investors, active players, are buying up that land like crazy right now.
Because of the flood?
Yes.
Because of the lithium?
Yes.
Tell me why.
So major disasters bring in major profits.
Oh, I'm writing that down. That was good.
Major disasters bring in major profits. You see, oftentimes those disasters come naturally, but the aftermath is something that happens on purpose.
How can it happen on purpose?
Case in point, Katrina. And I was a part of Katrina, right? I'm from the Gulf Coast, right? A lot of people in Katrina, when those levees burst, it was caused by explosions, not by a natural disaster.
So that was done on purpose?
A lot of Katrina was done on purpose. And because after Katrina, investors flooded New Orleans. They flooded that entire area, buying up land like crazy. So again, most people are NPCs who are not in the know of anything. The active players who know how to capitalize on those type of events, go directly into it and buy up and become even bigger billionaires and billionaires.
So tell me a benefit of buying into a city that's completely flooded out. I get the lithium, but are they going to buy the land to plan to rebuild?
Absolutely, because Asheville is one of the top I guess, one of the top tourist destinations in that area. People love Asheville. People love New Orleans. Think about it. New Orleans is a staple in itself. New Orleans is a culture. It's a people. But that land that was damaged during Hurricane Katrina was at the 90% discounted prices with that damage.
Mm.
So they flooded in those areas and they bought the hell out of that land. Point blank, period.
That sounds crazy, but to be honest, I can see that from a business standpoint.
Mhm.
Because, like, just say from a regular eye, before you said that, right, I was like, oh man, like, I don't see the value in it because the flood has come and ruined everything.
Mhm.
But when you just said that, it's like you're going to get that land for pennies on a dollar.
Mhm.
And even if you have to hold it for a little bit, the value is going to go back up. And then they're going to come in and rebuild that whole thing out as if nothing ever happened
Mhm.
and become billionaires.
Exactly.
That's
They
crazy.
do the same
I
thing
never
with
thought
the
of, I
ghettos
never
and the
thought
hoods.
that much into it. I didn't realize. I think that just comes from a different mindset. I wasn't thinking that much into it. I know this young lady lives in New Orleans, and she said they still stifle in New Orleans, and she 100% agrees with what you're saying, Cliff, because she's still there.
Oh yeah, but my hometown, Pensacola, Florida, they did the same thing with Hurricane Ivan. They're doing the same thing with all of the land that got damaged in North Carolina. A lot of people still don't have lights, and they still have a
Yeah,
lot of
she
damage
said
in
that.
North Carolina. They do the same thing when Georgia floods. Here it gets even deeper. They do the same thing when they cause certain temperatures in certain neighborhoods in certain cities. When they cause certain crime rates to go up in certain cities to drive the property value down, then they go in and buy those properties for pennies on the dollar, and then they gentrify the entire area. It's all a game. Everything is business. When you look at everything from that standpoint, it changes the way your mind flows. Everything is business.
That's
It's not
crazy.
personal. It's business.
Erica's confirming what you said. She said, yes, they're going to build a lithium mine in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Erica, put on here how far Kings Mountain, North Carolina is from Asheville. I'm not familiar with either one of those cities. I heard of Asheville.
Y'all know I don't speak unless I know what I'm talking about.
All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick little break and then we're going to come back. So we'll see you guys in about 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right. You could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's not okay. But your girl is here to help you out. Email us today at hits923newshow@gmail.com and tell us about your potential show with Hits. Again, that email address is hits923newshow@gmail.com. Don't be last. The slots are filling fast.
Experience the taste of excellence with Queen and Slim's Kitchen. We cater events, private parties, corporate gatherings, and more. Book now by texting 757-729-0244 or visit at Queen and Slim's Kitchen on Instagram to make your next event unforgettable.
All right. I want to thank you guys for joining us here each and every Wednesday from 12 to 1, where we're talking all things cryptocurrency, blockchain, AI, as well as just what's happening out here in the world today. Because at the end of the day, what I learned, especially from my coach, I think everybody in the world needs a coach, but I love actually talking to Cliff because he just enlightens me on so many different aspects when it comes to world news. I say all the time, somebody else, a gentleman that one of my accountability partners, Ricardo, says, I'm so over leveraged in my platform that I didn't see what was happening out here in the world. And I said, wow, you and Cliff keep saying the same thing. Like, you're always telling me what's happening out here in the world. And he said, absolutely, because it affects cryptocurrency. So this today we're talking about the strike that's happening at the port. We're talking about the after effects of Hurricane Helene. We didn't get into yet, but I definitely want to touch on what's happening here in Georgia. I was sharing with you guys earlier. My family's like, come home. Between the flood in downtown Atlanta, between the explosion out that happened in Conyers, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I know a lot of times the economy was already taking a big hit. We already have like one thing after the other. It's just hard to pay rent. It's hard to keep food in the house. Gas is high. Everything is so expensive. And now, and just when was the hurricane? Last week? Yeah, it was this last week. Now, all these families that were already just having life was lifening for them. Now, some people's homes are washed away. I was literally looking and I seen a house floating down the street. And I was like, I couldn't even imagine. I seen that people are missing. I seen that on social media, but I was like, where do we go from there? And Cliff was talking a little bit about um, just I had no idea about the lithium. How does that affect the land in North Carolina with the lithium being in the ground? What exactly does that mean?
That's a natural resource. It's just a spot to where they found natural resources under that land, and that just gave them an excuse to kind of flood that land out. To be honest, I mean,
I wasn't ready for that one.
I'm gonna keep it
I
100.
thought you was gonna tell me.
That's a natural resource, but that gave them an excuse to go and flood the land. It happens too often. See, people view things from a trust standpoint when it comes down to our government and our systems. When really, honestly, these are the most crooked, corrupt people on the planet.
Oh my gosh.
Let's be 100. They're the most crooked and corrupt people on the planet. And we don't put trust in the person who's right next to us that's pushing us and propelling us to the next levels. But yet we trust the government system who has failed us time and time and time and time again. We trust quote unquote celebrities who fail you time and time and time and time again. Politicians who fail you
right.
time and time. They call them influencers, or what they call them social
right,
media influencers who ain't
right.
influencing the damn thing. Who fail you time and time and time.
That don't
again.
know you, don't care about you.
Yeah.
But that's who people will put their faith in.
That's when you put your faith and your trust in. But when it comes down to it, everything is business. It is what it is. We take things too personal. And once you learn how to take things for what it is and just stand on business, that's when you can really start reaping the benefits of everything that business entails. It is what it is. Is it morally right for you to flood an area to capitalize on the resources of that area? Absolutely not. But does it happen? All the damn time.
So if you think about it, so Erica says it's about from what did she say? Kingston, I think. Let me say the right city. Kings Mountain, North Carolina, to Asheville. She said it's about an hour and 40 minutes. So it's like you wipe out one city to build the mine in another city, because that's a way to get away with it and just blame it on a natural disaster, because the everyday average person is not going to pick that up or understand that or realize what just happened.
They're NPCs. They're going to go with the flow. Think about it. Lake Lanier was once one of the most prominent Black areas, communities in Georgia. It's now a lake. They flooded the entire community just so they can have somewhere to go jet skiing on. Let's be 100. It is what it is.
Wait a minute. I thought, see, I don't know. I don't know anything about Lake Lanier other than negative stuff about don't go there because people always dying and different things like that. But I didn't realize it was a city.
Can I go in?
Yeah. Go ahead.
If you go scuba diving in Lake Lanier, there are still churches, buildings, signs, cars, even human skeletons down there.
Oh,
yeah, that was one of the most predominantly Black successful areas in Georgia. They flooded that area to funnel water into Atlanta, first off, and so they can go jet skiing and fishing. And it gets a lot deeper than that, a lot darker than that. If you ask anybody who's originally from this area, who's older, they will tell you that.
And Daryl said major news stations are not even talking about this.
They're not. They're not going to talk about it because they're getting paid not to.
Wait a minute, Cliff. One of your biggest fans, He said, protect Cliff at all costs.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. They're not going to tell you about these things. They're not going to tell you to buy. Think about. I want you to really think about this. And this is going back into cryptocurrency, going back into blockchain technology, all of that, or whatever. Larry Fink, the founder, one of the CEO of BlackRock, the largest investment corporation on the planet that most people don't even know exists. Think about that. They're the largest investment corporation on the planet. They literally own countries. They're worth they're worth $13.7 trillion in assets. Most people don't even know that corporation exists. Larry Fink denied and talked down on Bitcoin for years. Now all of a sudden they own over $113 billion in Bitcoin.
Because I don't think anybody really, like, especially in the financial institutions, everybody downed Bitcoin in the beginning because they didn't know what it was. They didn't understand it. They didn't see the value. That's not why they did it.
Why they did it.
Why did they do it? To bring the price down so they could buy low, sell high?
You got to look at how investors think. Think about this. If you are a t-shirt company, right? And your goal is to capitalize on a t-shirt company. You have t-shirts. And everybody is selling t-shirts in bulk for $100 a t-shirt. But you have the influence to influence the entire world, the entire market. Would you not say t-shirts are a bad business to get in so you can drive the price point down so you can buy more of it, so just so you can capitalize on it later on?
Yeah, I remember Elon Musk did the same thing, just as being an influencer. So I can believe that. That's crazy.
That's how their mindset works. It's genius. It's simple, but it's genius. They have the influence. Think about this. Remember when Warren Buffett, one of my favorite investors of all time, because he's a very simple investor, right? He wanted to buy Bank of America shares. He didn't go and buy Bank of America shares in bulk when Bank of America was at full throttle mode. No, he waited till they had a scandal when the shares went down. He waited till one of the top CEOs of Bank of America was pinching pennies off 1,000 people's accounts illegally, stealing millions upon millions of dollars a month to drive the price point of those shares down before he dived into Bank of America shares. But before he did that, what did he do? He dumped all his airline stocks and collapsed the airline market. Then he turned around when the airline market collapsed, bought all of those shares back and doubled his profit. That's how they move.
Alonzo said, it's not genius, it's greed. Erica and them are like, wow, y'all have no idea. This is why you need a coach. You have to find somebody in your life that I always say there's it's a law. It's called the law of the lid. And I always say, how can you take me somewhere you've never been? The whole purpose of and I'll forever, ever, I love Mr. Akil Muhammad for making that introduction to me to meet Cliff because I have the privilege of talking to him on a regular basis. I have these conversations. If I was at home, I'd fall all out in the chair. He didn't even be knowing what's going on when he be talking to me, right? I fall all out in the chair and I just be like, oh my God, I did not know that. Oh my God. Like, because for me, I need to understand the why. Like, why is this happening? And then when I understand the why, I can start to put things together and I start to look at things completely different. So you guys get this once a month, but I have the privilege of getting this on a regular basis, and I love this conversation because, to be honest, I didn't look at things the way that Cliff does. I didn't see it, and then when he talks about it, because we don't talk about in advance what we're going to talk about on the show, it just come out. If I wasn't in the show, I'd be falling all out in the chair again, like, what? Wait, what is that about? And I just love being able to have these conversations because he just makes me look at things a lot different. And I start looking at things instead of an emotional side of it. I start putting my think cap on, my business hat on, and I'm like, I had no idea. Like that wouldn't have been my first thought process. So when I like these comments, when Dorian said, it's that clip
I appreciate that, brother.
because you don't even know, but I have the pleasure of talking to my team and different people afterwards. And they always love listening to you and talking to you because you kind of know you're going to get the raw. You're going to get good information from a different standpoint. So I just want to thank you so much for always just sharing so much wisdom and knowledge with us. Because I'm trying to, they talking so fast, it's hard for me to keep up.
I appreciate you for always bringing me on and being able to talk on it. Absolutely.
No, I love it. So let's talk about, but I'm still not past because I got to go look up. I had no idea. I had only even heard that city Asheville. And I think I only know it because I had team members there. I didn't know anything about the city. I didn't know anything. So what happens now? Is this just big time investors are able to go in and buy the land? Is that something you tell the everyday average person that might have the resources? That might be something you want to look into. What would you tell the everyday
So
average person?
you have to be, well, the first thing I would tell them is you have to stop, you got to kind of change your NPC mindset. You have to stop looking at everything for what you think it is or what it's perceived to be, and look at things for what it really is. And that goes into research. But I would tell the everyday person is to always look for an opportunity to be able to capitalize on, even if the opportunity does not look like an opportunity in the front at the forefront of it. Always look for a way to capitalize on some type of opportunity. Now, of course, that goes with integrity as well. You don't want to, capitalize off of the detriment of another person. But there's always opportunities for you to be able to build on, regardless of what market we're in. Oftentimes, we dive into things, like, for instance, I talk on crypto futures a lot. Oftentimes, people look at that market as extremely volatile. But we know with certain strategies and with certain templates, that's, right here in the BBA and the Blockchain Bureau Academy, we actually capitalize on a lot of those markets. Case in point, I have a student right now who's up 663% on a play that we got in yesterday. Now, 2 weeks ago, he absolutely knew nothing about crypto futures, but because he's seen the opportunity, because he's seen the value, he dove into that play and he's already paid for his course in 2 days. That's power. So always look to fulfill yourself, fill your pocket, fill yourself spiritually, mentally, physically with opportunities, and dive into those opportunities. Don't be afraid to dive into those opportunities, because NPC mindset people don't dive into those opportunities. But active players are always willing to dive into those opportunities.
I like that. Speaking of that, when you talk about the course, there's a gentleman. I hope he's watching because he just asked me, and if you didn't say it, it would have slipped my mind. His name is Phil. He asked me yesterday, Diana, how much does it cost for for Cliff's course? Can you talk a little bit about that before I lose my train of thought? Because that's important.
Mhm.
Because they asked me that, and I'm like, to be honest, I don't know. You would have to ask Cliff directly. So can we just touch on that for a second? Because he just asked me last night.
So I have multiple courses. I have a group course. That group course is a 6 week group course. It goes into crypto futures. It also goes into the backbone work of cryptocurrency mostly. That course is $699.97. It's on a deal right now because the natural price for that course, or the normal price for that course, is $1,000. Right now, I have it going for $699.97 for the first 25 people to sign up. I also have a one-on-one 12-week course. That one-on-one 12-week course is a lifetime mentorship course. That's the same course you're in right now. We dive into that course. We go into everything crypto futures. You start day trading from day one. Day one, we are already actively setting up things in the markets. That course is right now half off. Normal price is 10K. 10K. Right now, it's around $4,999.97 for the next 5 people to sign up for that course, because I'm getting ready to discontinue that course because I have a new course I just brought out, brand spanking new course. The new course is a 6 month course, but in that course, I'm not just teaching crypto investing. I'm teaching crypto stock investing. I'm also teaching precious metals investing, international business trades, real estate investing, and how to incorporate yourself as an entity. That course is 25K.
I want a lifetime course.
You're in the lifetime course.
All right.
Yeah, the 12 week one.
All right.
Yeah, but
Because
that course
you
it
stuck
goes
with
in-
me, Cliff.
I got you.
I'm not going nowhere.
I got you.
I don't really have stalker tendencies, but I will get them quick. You are stuck with me for life. Eileen says she likes look for opportunities. Don't be afraid of opportunities. She said thanks for that. I don't think a lot of people really realize that right now. Let's touch a little bit on where we are in the crypto space. For me, I feel like I'm ready to take a lap around the church. Everything I'm reading is like it looks like we're about to really all gas no brakes when it comes to Bitcoin. I think they said if it stays over 65,000, I didn't look and see what it was this morning.
61.
61.
Mhm.
Okay. They were saying that we should if we didn't have that correction, but we must have had that correction if you say 61,
Mhm.
because something that I read said if we did not have a correction, that's what it was, that thing about the shoot to the moon. But we had the correction. So what's your thought process on
I wouldn't necessarily call that correction, to be honest.
that? Okay.
I think the lowest it could potentially get right now is maybe 58 before it starts to do that huge parabolic skyrocket move next month. Historically, October has always been a rocky month for Bitcoin, for cryptocurrency in general. But everything is setting itself up for that huge parabolic move up. Now, the thing is, people still think they have time. You don't have time. You're already late. I'm gonna be 100 with you. You're already late. Now you can run and catch the bus, but the bus is already taken off. Let's be 100. For you to get these prices. Now, does that mean you should try not to invest or not invest into cryptocurrency assets? Absolutely not, because we still have a long way to go. You're talking about Bitcoin could potentially hit anywhere between $280 to $400,000 by February, March next year. Here's the thing: even though we're going to hit those parabolic numbers next year, you're talking about 2028, Bitcoin could hit 1.7 million. 2032, Bitcoin could potentially hit 10 million. So would you want to be the person who said, I could have got Bitcoin at $60,000, but I waited to $400,000? Or even worse, do you want to be the person who said, I could have got it at 60,000, but I held off and procrastinated, and now it's 1.7 billion?
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you rather be? I think I would rather get it at 60,000.
I think I'd rather get it at
And by the way,
60,000.
you don't have to buy an entire Bitcoin. You can buy as little as $10 in Bitcoin. The key that I'm trying to put into your head is get in the game, because the game has already started. We are at second quarter. Don't wait till halftime.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about. I was listening this morning, and wait a minute, Andrea said Cliff stuck with me too. As long as she ain't invading on my time,
Yeah, I see
she's
she's
cool.
got a 63% gain this morning. That's what's up.
Let me find out. Let me find out. Andre, he putting all the business out there. She got a couple extra dollars. Holler at me. No, seriously though. Um, I was listening to them talk about XRP being at its all-time high, and they were saying that
All
it
time
looks
high
it,
recently?
well, no, it was saying what was the all-time high, like $3 and something.
317.
Okay, so they said 317, and they said they see that going to $5, $6, 10 at max. Like within this next 3 to 4 months. You agree with that?
I see it honestly. They're taking their precious time with XRP right now, and it's because, remember, XRP is the ISO token. So $10, $5, that's going to hit that, and it's going to hit that regardless. My plan for XRP is the long haul. And
Yeah, I
even
agree
talking
with
about
that.
XRP, I'm thinking maybe 125 per XRP token, probably by 2027, potentially.
2027.
But there are two other coins that people are not talking about. And it kind of irritates me every time we talk about XRP. XLM is going to run hand in hand with XRP.
Somebody look up for me and put in the chat. Or do you know what XLM is right now?
Yeah, Stellar Lumens, I think it's like 11 cent, I believe. Don't quote me on it. All right. XDC is also Casper, IOTA, HBAR, Algorand. You got a lot of other coins you can dive in that are that are going either ISO compliant or going to be ISO compliant. Even Cardano. So you have a lot of coins that you can capitalize on that are a lower price point than XRP, that's going to move with the fluctuation of XRP. So don't just dive into XRP. Look into those other projects as well, because they're all going to move in the same trajectory. They're all going to move in the same motion.
Nice. I do like Cardano. I think Jacqueline was the first one to turn me on to that particular coin. That and VeChain was her two favorite coins when she used to always talk about altcoins, because again, I was in this little box and I was just so focused on my project. I wasn't necessarily leveraging all the altcoins. Now I just keep hearing myself say it over and over, because my prayer is that people learn from our mistakes. It's very important to be transparent. And I would just was not looking outside of my ecosystem like that. I wanted to just totally, they say focus, follow one course until successful. So I just wanted to see that thing from A to Z. But I had to, like, listening to you and listening to Ricardo, and then I'm listening to the Modern Investor. I felt like one of the things that the Modern Investor, he said this morning, he said, it's really sad. He said, because so many people are going to make money in this space right now, and then they're going to go shopping. And he's like, but instead of, and they're going to go out and buy some stuff. He said, but when you start to create wealth, before you go and do all those other things, you have got to continuously buy, as you said, buy real estate. So secure that land, make sure you get more real world assets, make sure that you keep flipping that money. He said, that's how the rich continue to get richer. You can't make some money and then go out here and deviate from the plan that got you there. He said that's the difference. He said, because in this crypto space, you don't have the everyday average person. You have rich people getting richer, and the poor people stay poor because of their mindset. So as he was saying that, I said, oh my God, I so talk about that all the time right now, because for me, I'm working on infinite banking. I'm working on whole life policies. I'm looking to diversify my portfolio. I love looking into land, because I feel like in the world that we're living in right now, you have to, because you just don't never know what's going to happen, because everything that has happened to us in the last, I'll say 10 days, nobody's seen that coming. People's lives are completely changed. They're going to get worse. I tried to get some gas. What was it, Monday night? Because the strike happened on Tuesday. And what you normally see on TV, it was nothing but lines, because everybody was like thinking, well, what if we don't have any gas these next couple of days? Let me fill up my car. Everything was everybody was in the store. We were all in the store 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night trying to get these last minute things, because you just don't know what's coming around the corner. And this is not getting any better. So I don't even know what is going to happen with what do we talk about? Automation coming, the economy suffering. Like, what are these people going to do that are not open to these opportunities and still think that you can work 40 years for 40 hours a week and settle for 40% of your salary? That's just not going to work anymore. What do you think about that, or what do you have to say about that?
So can I correct you on something?
Yeah, correct me, please.
You said no one seen this coming. NPCs didn't see this coming.
My bad.
Active players seen this coming. We seen it coming a mile away. When we talk about the economy being at the place it is right now, I've seen this coming 7, 8 years ago. I spoke
7, 8
on it
years ago?
7, 8 years ago.
You do say that. You be like, fact check me. You be like, look, and you'll post the video that you said a while ago. So I can give you that. You do that.
I posted a video.
You don't even let people
while
fact
ago.
check you. You fact check
Yeah.
yourself.
And I went back like 8 years. Wasn't I talking about this 8 years ago? And yeah, you were. Yeah, I told you about this 8 years ago. And now we're here. So imagine what I'm going to tell you about 10 years from now. Automation is here. Stop running from it. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. And I'm just going to really, really go in on it. If you're looking to have a career change and you want to stay in an employee mindset, look at blockchain developers. Looking to becoming a blockchain developer. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back who didn't hear me. Look at becoming a blockchain developer. Blockchain developers start off at $129,000 a year, and you don't need a degree to do it. Literally, you don't even need a certificate. But I would go get one just so you can know what the heck you're doing. Looking to becoming a blockchain developer. But we're here. For people who still are sitting on the sidelines, I don't have sympathy for them. I'm going to be honest with you. At this point of my life, with me being, I have over 2,700 videos of me talking about financial literacy. I have 2,700 videos. I have over 500 hours of me teaching financial literature. At this point, let them starve.
Cliff, don't say let them starve.
Let them starve. If you're not a child or someone who's older or elder, let them starve, because we all have the same 24 hours. Every day you got a chance and a choice.
I agree. That might be the soft side of me though, because I'm like, I know me. I was working two jobs and I was just tired. I was tired. I know you said, you wasn't making the money that you were making and
Mhm.
you was tired. Like you have to get to that place where you're sick and tired. Like I'm over this. I'm tired of living this way. Everybody reaches their breaking point at a different time. It just depends. And to me, I can't say, Cliff, let them starve. That could be the motherly thing in me, but it is frustrating.
Mhm.
It's frustrating because, like we talked about earlier, you'll go out here and you'll do some reckless things, and you'll listen to an influencer, but you won't pay attention to friends or family, um, like that is trying to educate you
Mhm.
and trying to put you in a better situation. But I don't know if I'm gonna say let them
I
starve.
say
I
let them.
no.
I'll say let them start, and here's why. And here's why. If you know your financial situation better than anybody else, if you know you got pennies in your bank account, yet you sit at home and watch Netflix all day long and eat junk food, let your ass start. Sorry, let you start. Point
No,
blank. Period.
no.
If you sit on, if you have social media platforms that you sit on for 8+ hours a day, looking at nonsense, and you know your financial situation is screwed, let you starve. That means you deserve to starve because you know you can do better. The same way you went and looked at a twerking video, the same way you went and looked at that fight video, the same way you looked at all that toxic stuff we watch on a day-to-day basis, you can flip it to a video that's going to teach you financial literature. Point blank, period.
Okay, so I agree with that part. I agree with that part because, to be honest, I just really feel like people their situation to be bad, right? I see it. I swear to goodness, I see it every day, and it's frustrating. I see somebody on here say, Leela said that too. It's exhausting trying to talk to friends and family, and after a while, it is frustrating. But I still feel like, do we? I don't want to give up on them.
I have. I give up on people who give up on themselves. People make promises to themselves every single day, and you fail yourself. If you can fail yourself, what make you think you ain't gonna fail me? As a mentor, if you can't keep a promise to yourself that you're going to be better, you're going to do better, you're going to hold yourself accountable
Yeah,
financially, physically, and
yeah,
mentally,
yeah,
what makes you think I'm going to let you sign up for my program? You're not. Point blank, period. I turned down a lot more people than I accept in my program. And it's because of that. If you cannot keep your promises to yourself, you're not going to keep your promise to anybody else. It is your duty, your obligation to build the future foundations, the future generations stronger, more financially literate, more financially stable, more financially free than you are right now. That is my
yeah.
goal. And if you can't keep that promise to yourself, to your children, to the future generations, then you are a failure and you cannot sign up for my program. I'm being completely honest, and I will let you starve.
Okay, so let me be the soft side.
Mhm.
I agree to a certain point. I guess for me, I just feel like, I don't know. I go through that up and down roller coaster. Also, I do, because I'll listen to people talk, and I'm like, sometimes they'll even be in crypto, like they in it, but they ain't really in it, and they're just at the place where I feel like they got their toe in it.
Mhm.
They ain't really serious about it. Like they'll make excuses, and they don't. I just feel like they don't. I always tell people, I'm like, pray about it. Like you don't have to do it. Like pray about it. Whenever I'm going to do something, I'll sometimes turn down my plate. I'm like, okay, God, like you need to point me in this right direction because I know what I need to do. There's all these different situations going on, but I'm gonna give this to you. And when I wake up in the morning or whatever, I'll make a decision. But I say the same thing you do though. I'm gonna always put the chips on me. Now, do I fall short sometimes? Absolutely, I do. But it's about priorities. It's about mindset. It's about, you plan everything out, and even when you fall a little short at the end of the day, you still have to say, I'm gonna always put the chips on me. Because for us, I just feel like, I don't know, we got to the place in life where we just made a decision and we stood on it and didn't look back. Even when we fall short, you still get up. You can't stay in that space, because I don't like whiners. That bothers me when you whine or you stuck on something and you don't see the value of, speaking those affirmations over your life, regardless of what your current situation is, and deciding like that devil's a liar, and today is the last day that this is going to happen.
Absolutely. But prayer without works is what?
Dead.
The key word is work.
So y'all didn't know that Cliff be preaching sometimes, did you? So I want to thank you. Go ahead, Cliff.
I appreciate you for letting me come on here again and talk my stuff. But thank you again. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for joining us here each and every Wednesday. This show is like so fun for me because honestly, I learned so much. I pray that if you guys see the value in it, share it. Tell them how to get in contact with you.
You can get in contact with me on IG, Mr. I Am Money. Also Facebook, Clifton O'Neill, and also you can get in contact with me on TikTok. I think it's Crypto Cliff LLC on TikTok.
Yeah. All right. So I want to thank you guys for joining us here each and every Wednesday. Let me give you a heads up. Next Wednesday, we won't be live on YouTube. You're going to have to listen to it through the radio next week because my wonderful engineer is probably going to be on vacation somewhere. So you're going to have to listen in next week, not necessarily on YouTube, but we'll still be here from 12 to 1 talking all things crypto, all things blockchain, AI, and what's happening out here in the world. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday. Have a blessed week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Legacy Crypto Builders with Diana Townsend here on Hits Radio 92.3. Remember, every Wednesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're here exploring revolutionary blockchains that shape our future. Continue building your knowledge and join us next week for more insights into the world of purpose-driven blockchain technology. Until then, keep innovating and shaping the future.